This is Remember That One Time with your hosts, Chris
and CJ.
And today we are bringing you medical stories.
Medical stories.
Yeah, I am not in the medical field, so I don't have many, if any, of these medical stories. So this is going to be a whole lot of CJ tonight. So get your fill. She's going to fill your hole.
Oh,
Dirty.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll have something to say about some of this.
Eventually.
And I mean, it's not all from work. Most of it's from work, but I have a couple of patients that work at the hospital, and they gave me some stories.
There you go. And always keep in mind that we do take listener submissions. So if you're listening and you're like, oh my God, you would not believe this, we can always go back to a topic and read off a listener submission the next episode. Not a problem at all.
Right.
Always.
This is kind of, I know we did an episode one time about our jobs. And this is kind of revisiting that because at that point I had not gotten the stories from the people that I know that work at the hospital. So that's like the golden one of this entire episode is one of that woman's stories. Like
fantastic. Well, before we dive into that, today's episode is brought to you by Mic Drop Mobile Media. Affordable, dependable, unforgettable. It is wedding season officially. I don't know if like official wedding season starts in the fall, but my calendar sure as fuck does. Yeah, I've got 2 this month, 1 next month, and then 1 in the spring. So we are going full blast with weddings. If you have, of course, a wedding, barbecue, your parakeets, bar mitzvah, whatever you've got on the books, if you want some music to go along with it, hit up Mic Drop Mobile Media on Facebook.
What about like a company party?
Company picnic?
Or like a company Christmas party. What if some
corporate
super boring corporate business was like, hey, we're gonna have all these fucking schmucks out at the, whatever, fucking Stony River
Country Club
or whatever for the Christmas get together, and everybody's gonna get their stupid Christmas bonuses and shit, and you have to like be the DJ and like bring the vibe to that party with all these people that are together but they probably hate each other.
I will play Jingle Bell Rock 35,000 times, and I will be so happy to announce the winner of the Jelly of the Month Club.
Dude.
So good.
That would be amazing.
Exactly. So any event, check out Mic Drop Mobile Media. And if you also need proofreading services, where can they go for that?
They can check out Perfectly Polished Paragraphs. It is a proofreading company that will proofread literally anything, short of maybe not a medical journal or something that's super in-depth and complicated, but pretty much anything else.
Yeah, if you've got a text to send to an ex that you want like scathing, but you also want it to be like perfectly written, make sure you don't have any typos. Ain't nobody gonna respect a bitch with typos.
Exactly. Petty Betty is here for it. So hit them up. Literally anything that's not way up here in this headspace.
Right.
So their website is perfectlypolishedparagraphs.com, and you can contact them at info@perfectlypolishedparagraphs.com. We have a promo code, 10% off all services, and the code is PP20.
Legit.
So, and we also have our wonderful sponsor, Audible.
Yes.
They are the best.
Mid-roll.
Bee's knees.
Yes, for sure. And we will get into a fuller information about Audible a little later on.
So I'll go ahead and dive right into some of these stories.
Go for it.
And this is so funny that we're having this episode tonight because we were actually talking about this at work today.
Oh,
we had somebody come in and they had a night guard that needed to be cleaned, and I have 2 new employees, and so they haven't seen a whole lot of like really nasty ones. And so she brought it to me and she was like, look how gross this is. And I was like, girl,
Uh,
you haven't even seen. And so I literally pulled out my phone and start scrolling back through my pictures. And she's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, just you wait. So I
do you
scrolled
not still
like
have the book?
the book.
Like you have once brought out
Oh yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
like picture book.
Yeah, but I made that like 10 years ago. This was only
So
like a
good.
year and a half, 2 years ago. So I start scrolling through my phone because I actually took a picture of this. It was so nasty.
Ugh.
And so I pulled it up and I was like, are you ready for this? Because this is a girl who actually threw up last week because there was this woman that had like horrible breath. Like it was really bad. It was like, it smelled
I've
like,
never encountered breath that has made me want to throw up.
it was like dirty gym bag and hot, wet, old cheese.
Oh,
It was
that's
real
awful.
gross. But, and I mean, when I say throw up, I don't mean like, you know,
Ugh.
projectile vomit right there, but it was more like a, when it comes up, it starts
It's
coming up
burning in your
here
throat.
and you're like, "Mm," and then you go over to the sink and you spit a little bit. It was like that. So anyway, I pull up this picture and I showed it to her and I was like, this lady called and this is what she said. She said, my mouth guard is a little dirty. It might
Uh-oh.
need to be cleaned. This thing was black. And
Oh,
when I say black, black mold,
black.
black mold
How
on
does
something
one mold a night guard?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Did she like leave it in a glass of water for 3 weeks or something?
I don't even know. But it was like, how do you put something in your mouth that has black mold on it? You know how
Okay,
calculus builds up on your teeth? There was layers of calculus on this mouth guard.
that is awful.
It was disgusting. I can't
Just needs to
even.
throw that away and get a new one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I asked her, I was like, how old is this thing? Like expecting her to be like, oh, 20, 30 years old. 4 years old. It was
That's
4 years
it.
old. I was like, what are you doing with your life?
I can
Like,
guarantee you she doesn't brush her teeth either.
right? I wanted to like ask her, like, are you experiencing like neurological problems? Because I feel like that black mold in like ingesting black mold can make you like really, really fucking sick.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I just feel like maybe she was experiencing some other symptoms, but
it's
I was like, girl, no.
possible.
She wanted me to clean it, and I'm like, the fuck you want me to do? Set it on fire? I can't
Chisel.
do anything for you. Like I tried to. We have like a mini sandblaster that
Hmm.
like so if somebody's crown comes off, we like sandblast the cement out of it and re-cement it. I tried to like sandblast it, and it was doing like nothing. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Like there's nothing I can do. Just throw it away and start over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I'm still not over that. It's been a while, and I'm not over it. Um, so you're a patient. You know that we have like the forms that you have to fill out and
Yes.
medical history and all that bullshit. And so there's like you just update it every now and then. And so I gave it to this patient to update, and she hands it back to me, and I'm looking, and I'm like, am I seeing that right? And down in the bottom where it says, do you have any new conditions? She put Epstein didn't kill himself.
Well,
Oh, that's a good one.
right. It's like the new Rick roll.
It is. It really is. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna frame that one. That's a good one.
I don't remember what I put on it, but I know it wasn't a legit answer.
Yeah, you made a funny or something. I don't know. I
I don't
can't.
remember.
And speaking of paperwork, I had this lady. She's like 65 years old, and she marked yes on if she was pregnant. And
All
then
right.
she starts telling me that she was like trolling this like one of those little mobile clinic things
Mm-hmm.
that like they just park out front of like Target or whatever, where you can go in there and like get a free fucking um, pregnancy tests, free condoms, free, whatever. It's a little mobile clinic. And she said she went in there and trolled them, and she was like, I need to get a pregnancy test. And they were looking at her like, what?
Hey, is your
And she
name
was like, she
Mary?
did not break character. Like, she was like, no, I'm serious. I need a pregnancy test. And they gave her one, and she took it and sat in the little trailer waiting for the results. And so they were like, they like put it in there and like took it back out. They're like, yeah, you're not pregnant. And she's like, no, I think you need to wait for the actual results. I need to know.
Wow.
And she
This
legit sat there. She was cackling while she was telling me this story. She thought it was like the funniest thing that had ever happened. And I was like, oh, you're retired, aren't you? I bet that was like the highlight of your day.
right? But
Rolling the
see,
fucking medical bus.
right, when I was reading the notes, it didn't say anything about trolling. So I thought she was like 100% serious. Like you had this customer come in or this patient come in and she's like, I might be pregnant and like freaking out and going to the mobile unit to get a pregnancy test.
No. She was just fucking bored. She
Oh,
just
okay. Hey, better bored than pregnant.
exactly. Um, we, I can't remember who it was. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if she was like weird and crazy or not, but I can't remember who it is. But I always ask, like, the woman could be in labor. I don't give a fuck. Before I take x-rays, I always ask, is there a chance that you might be pregnant? I mean, a kid could be crawling out of her vagina, and I'm
Yeah,
still,
you could shake hands with it.
you just don't. The one time you feel like it's safe to assume, it's not. That's
Right.
like never gonna be okay. That's the one time it's gonna bite you in the ass. And so I asked this girl if there was a chance she could be pregnant, and she said a little bit.
Just a little. I could be a little pregnant.
How are you a little pregnant?
You either is or you ain't.
Like, is that like if you're pregnant with like a dwarf, like one
Oh my
of
God.
little people, is that a little pregnant? Like, I don't know how
I
that
mean,
works.
technically, I guess.
So I was just standing there like, what does that mean? Like, do I take the
What am I supposed to do with this information?
do I take the x-rays or not? Like,
Well, maybe you just take a little x-ray.
maybe I can't even remember if I did or not. I think I just went and got my boss. I was like, I don't maybe you can ask her. I don't know what to do with this. Yeah.
Good luck.
I was at a loss. Okay, so this is the one, my patient that works at the hospital. So I'm assuming this happened in the ER because this sounds like an emergency. But this guy shoved a vibrator so far up his
Oh,
ass that it went into his lower intestine. Like, it's been a while since I've taken an anatomy class, so I'm not sure exactly like how
and they're
far,
attached.
like how long is the rectum? But I mean, that's got to be pretty long, right? I mean, not to
I would
get
think so.
graphic, but I've taken and seen some monstrous dumps, and I'm pretty sure that by the time it's like ready to dump, it's all in your rectum. It's not, there's nothing left in your intestines. It's all down there. So
I thought you were going to say that you've taken and seen some monstrous dicks.
no, no, homie, don't play that. Not in the butt. That's
Mm-mm.
next only for me, dog.
Well,
Um,
also, how big was that vibrator? Like,
I don't.
vibrator's one thing. They're usually, the same and they vibrate. Now, a dildo can be, you've got those double-ended edible jelly things. They're like 14 fucking feet long.
Oh no, it was specifically a vibrator because it was still on. That was
Oh,
part of the
shit.
story. Yeah. I don't know, like, how do you turn off a vibrator internally? You just like try to do a Kegel and
That's
like
what I'm thinking. Like, you gotta
flip
do
the
some
switch.
shifting.
But can a guy do a Kegel? I don't know how that works.
Well,
So
I mean, if it's in his butt,
yeah, I don't know. But so he shoved the vibrator up there. It went past his rectum into his lower intestine, and they tried in the ER to retrieve it. They could not. Mind you,
oh,
this
it
whole
was
time,
lost.
yeah, no, it was up there. like up there. It was gone. And so because obviously, like, they could get in there, but they could only get so far up in
Mm.
there. And the more they touched it, the more it was pushing further up in there.
God.
So they're like,
Surgery.
bad news, bruh, you got to have surgery.
Mm,
So they took him into surgery, and I don't know, like maybe a scope with like a little grabby thing on the end,
I guess.
like one of those machines with the gauge
Yeah.
where you
Claw machine.
got the claw machine, something like that. I don't know. But they got it out, and I'm sure this involved probably an overnight stay, I would think.
Yeah.
But you know how when you leave the hospital, they give you your items, your personal items
They
in a
did not.
bag? They did. She was
Just for him
like,
to make the same mistake twice.
how funny would it be if we cleaned this thing off, dried it, and put it in the bag with his clothes and his like wallet and keys and all that shit?
Oh my God.
So they did, and they gave it back to him. And I was like,
Well, I mean, it is his property.
that's true. And I mean, it's been through a lot, but it probably still works. I mean, like, maybe just don't put
Put
it
it
so
in your
far
intestines.
or like have a fail safe. Like,
Like not putting it in your intestines.
well, that, but like a real fail safe, like floss, something,
Mm,
anything.
yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, that's a pretty good troll. I was like, I would have loved to have seen his face, like getting his bag, and he's like making eye contact with them, knowing that they know. I mean, obviously they know, but like now, like you can see it now. It's real.
Right.
It's in this bag.
Well,
Yeah,
there's the culprit.
there it is.
Ta-da.
Ugh. I can't remember where I found this story, or I think weren't me and you like, I think we were like looking for stories somewhere. Maybe we read this on the internet or something, but I
Maybe it
wrote
was in
this
your post
down.
with a billion comments about sex.
It could have been, yeah. But this is because this has been written down for a long time. This is old. But a guy was using a meat grinder on his kitchen table. So he's got the grinder up on the kitchen table, and he's wearing a bathrobe. And I guess the tie to the bathrobe got caught in the grinder, and it pulled the grinder off the table, and it fell into his lap, and his dick went in the grinder.
That sounds like an episode of A Thousand Ways to Die.
Yeah, I was just like, you can't fix that, can you?
Mm-mm.
Like,
Well, that reminds me of an episode of A Thousand Ways to Die that always stuck with me, kind of in the same vein. Excuse the
why
pun.
would you say that while I'm drinking? I almost died.
My bad. Well, within the same vein, this guy took a pig's heart and decided to electrify it, because if you like electrify the muscle, it'll like pulse on its own. And he like fucked the electrified pig carcass, and it electrocuted him as well, and he died with this like pig heart on his dick.
What?
Yeah.
What? Say that. Okay, what? He fucking a pig or
Pig's heart.
a pig's heart?
Yes.
What the fuck? Who even thinks to do that?
I don't know. That's why I love this show. It's so random.
What the hell?
If you haven't watched it, you need to go find it. It used to be on like Spike or some shit, but I'm sure you could find it online, and you would binge watch that shit so quick.
That is, well, I mean, I feel like it's kind of fitting because if you're dumb enough to want to fuck a pig's heart, then you're probably dumb enough to not know that if you electrocute the heart that's on your dick, of course it's going to electrocute you too, you sick fuck.
Exactly.
What the
So
hell?
there's my contribution.
Well, I mean, worth it.
Right?
Fucking for sure worth it. I feel like we may have told this story before, but it's pretty versatile. It fits in a lot of different places.
Oh yeah.
And honestly, I don't even really know if it's true, but it's fucking hilarious. And actually, my ex-husband told me this story. And
Mm.
so that's probably even more like points toward it not being true. But I don't know. It stuck with me. So he said that he knew these two guys in the town where he grew up, and they were brothers, and one of them was gay and one of them was straight. And the gay one liked to do this thing with hamsters, where he'd like put
Yeah,
hamsters in like a bag and put it in its butt, I guess. I guess that's a thing.
it's a thing.
I was not aware of that until this story. Uh,
Really?
so he put the hamster in the bag, and I guess you're supposed to, I don't know where one procures hamsters with their claws removed, or if you have to like you just go casually buy a hamster at PetSmart and then take it to the vet and be like, hey, I need this hamster declawed. Like they don't know what you're doing.
Not gonna lie, I didn't even know hamsters had claws until just now.
Yeah. Well, they're aren't they rodents?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they
it
are
just
claws. I don't know. So apparently you're supposed to declaw the hamster first. That's an important step.
yeah, just
That
take it
he's
to the
gonna
fridge or take it to the kitchen and snip snip.
Yeah, apparently that's a step that this guy missed, forgot.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I don't know if this was his first time or what, but he did not remove the claws. And so this hamster obviously was fucking petrified,
Well, obviously.
shoved into an asshole. And so he's clawing for his life because he's not only being shoved into an asshole, but he's also suffocating. So he starts clawing,
It's a
and his
bad day.
claws rip through the Ziploc bag in like 2 seconds. And guess what he starts doing after that? He keeps clawing. And so now he's
Hmm.
clawing the rectum, he's clawing the bowels, he's clawing the just everything, trying to get the fuck out. And so, yeah, this guy is now paralyzed from the waist down because of a hamster clawing his intestines
Well,
and
do what you gotta
all
do.
kinds of bullshit in there. It just kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah.
No,
Just gonna go out on a limb and say you probably shouldn't put any living creature inside your body.
yeah, no, 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 no. This is a link that I saved a long time ago. So I honestly have no idea what it is,
Oh, fun.
but we're going to find out here in just a moment, um, because I'm on my phone and it struggles with links.
Okay, well, I can.
Does not know how to do this.
Um, Unfortunately, it says this content isn't available right now. When this happens, it's because the owner only shared it with a small group of people, changed who could see it, or likely it's been deleted. I
What
think
the
it's been deleted.
fuck, man? I can't remember what it was, but it was good.
Damn. Womp womp. Well, I'll tell you my one semi story then. I don't have any like medical stories because I'm not in the medical field. I've got a whole other side of things at my job. But the closest thing I could think of was the day that I took Ethan to get his wisdom teeth removed. And the nurse, oh, sorry, the nurse was like all up on him the whole time. So he was like filling out his paperwork and he puts like his correct height and weight and everything. Or no, he's not filling it out. She's asking him the questions and he's answering.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, or she's like, well, how tall are you? And he's like, 5'11". And she's like, no way, you have to be at least 6'2". And I'm like, you whore, go somewhere else with your whore mouth. Get away from my husband.
Please, ma'am.
Right. Settle down. And same with his weight. He gave her his weight and she's like, oh, there's no way. I bet it's just pure muscle. And like reaches over and grabs his arm like she's feeling for muscles. And I'm like, he's not 7. Like, stop trying to puff him up. Like, what are you doing?
Had they already given him the juice?
No,
Oh.
no, they're not like trying to be silly with the laughing gas or anything. She's just, yeah. I mean, maybe they're used to dealing with kids where you're just like, oh, you're so big and strong and brave, aren't you? But like, the man's in his mid 20s.
Yeah, it makes it kind of awkward.
Yeah. And then they asked if I was his mom.
Why? Why do they always do that?
I don't know, but like I was just sitting in the waiting room and they were like, "Oh, is your mom here to take you when you're finished?" And he's like, "That's my wife." But the lady was like, "Oh, she's beautiful." Damn straight.
Oh,
Bitch. Trying to steal my man while he's unconscious, getting his teeth fixed. Bitches. Dental bitches.
right? Fucking dental bitches.
Fucking dental bitch.
You know, what do they say? It's always the fucking hygienist, isn't it?
It is. And then, I don't know exactly what she was, but she was a hussy.
Well, if it was an oral surgeon's office, most likely they don't have a hygienist.
Probably not.
Probably the assistant.
Yeah.
Fucking assistants, man.
Fucking assistants.
Fucking assistant.
She was trying to get some assistants to fuck him. That was that was a stretch.
That was going a place somewhere.
Yeah, I'm going places.
I wish I had been there to hear it though. I hope she said it exactly like you said it. Oh, you're so big and strong.
That's
Like,
remembering it, but I don't know. I mean, Ethan was telling me about it, but then again, when he got out of surgery, he made me take him to Walmart and buy him a toy since he did so good.
oh my god.
He picked out dinosaurs.
Didn't she say something awkward to him when he was coming out of it?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Probably.
I remember what you said when you were coming out of it, getting your wisdom teeth out.
Yes, I heard somebody. I don't remember
Perry.
who.
Katy Perry.
That's right. Is Katy Perry singing to me or whatever it was?
Said because they had music piped into all the rooms and the speaker was in the ceiling, and you were like, Katy Perry, Katy Perry's in the sky. Katy Perry's in the sky.
I couldn't quite put two and two together there.
Yeah, and then like 30 minutes later, you were barfing on the side of the road. So there's
Yeah.
that. So I have one emergency room story, the one and only time I've ever been to the emergency room for myself. And it's the dumbest reason though. Like I didn't have anything cool happen. Like my appendix didn't burst on the softball field, and
Everybody I know who's had a burst appendix would not agree with you that that's a really cool thing.
well, I mean, it's a cool story. You're like, my appendix burst, like an organ burst out of my body, and I.
You do know that the appendix did not like actually leave their bodies, right?
Yes, I
It
know.
didn't just like shoot out of their abdomen and kill somebody else. Could you imagine just people, my appendix burst and they're just laying on the ground? It's like the appendix is this alien that's now running around sentient. Oh God, it hurts.
Like, not only did I die when my appendix burst, but so did 3 people standing nearby.
Exactly. It becomes a projectile. Who needs guns? We have.
Right? I can just fucking burst my appendix on demand.
Exactly. Don't fuck with me, bitch. I got an appendix and I know how to use it.
I mean,
Oh,
we'll get the job done, right?
right?
No, but like it wasn't that. It wasn't like I
Thank
got
God.
in a fight, like in a bar fight, I had a broken nose and a concussion or some bullshit. Like
Mhm.
it was nothing cool. It was I fucking got my tonsils taken out, and I got them taken out as an adult, which is really honestly the worst thing I've ever been through.
It's not great.
Almost. It's the third worst thing I've ever been through. And everything hurt. I could not eat, I could not drink, and so I didn't. And I guess after so many days of not eating and drinking, shit starts happening in your body.
Yes.
Don't really know why. And so I asked my mom to take me to the emergency room because I thought I was dying. And so they hooked me up to all the machines and everything, and they're like, yeah, you're fucking real dehydrated, so you're gonna have like 27 bags of fluid. And so they also started an IV, and they gave me Dilaudid, which
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a reason to have before. So I was like, this is fucking great. And they also wanted to take a chest x-ray for some reason, but they gave me I don't think the two nurses were talking to each other, because I feel like the x-ray should have come first, then the Dilaudid, but the Dilaudid came first, then the x-ray. So they
Oh
put
boy.
all this stuff in my IV, that one girl did, and she left. And then the other girl came in and she was like, hey, I need you to stand up and walk down the hall for this x-ray. And I was like, bitch, say what?
I ain't standing up, no way.
So I was like trying to stand up, but my feet weren't working. And I guess she just thought I was like, just, I don't know, just weak from not eating and drinking. And so she like physically was like picking up my legs and throwing them over the side of the
Oh my
bed.
God.
And she helped me up, and I could stand okay until she let go of me. And then I fell on the floor.
As one does.
And I took the pole down with me. And so she was like, oh. And I was like, yeah,
Bitch, this is what I'm screaming.
I'm incapacitated. I'm a little drunk. And so I ended up still having to take the x-ray, but someone had to like hold me up while they were taking the x-ray. So I'm like, I wanted to see a copy of the x-ray, because I'm imagining like, my body here, and then these two random arms like in the picture holding my body up so that I wouldn't fall over.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, 0 out of 10 would not do again.
Would not recommend.
Would not recommend. No, no, no. It was not fun,
No.
but it was more fun than getting my Mirena put in. That was not fun.
Yeah.
That also
Not
0
good times.
out of 10 would not recommend. But apparently, if you've had kids before, it's a breeze.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, fuck that.
no, I'm good.
Not worth the trade-off.
No, not even a little bit. And I got mine taken out like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like fucking petrified mess going
I
in to get
know.
it taken out. Because all I remember is being fucking scarred for life going into this office, and it was so horrible having it put in. And it really was nothing having it taken out, but
Well,
I,
that's good.
I was real nervous. It was not fun.
Well, I took myself, I don't, I think Ethan took me to the hospital, to the ER for an even stupider reason than yours.
Oh
But
yeah.
luckily, I wasn't actually admitted because once we got to the parking lot, it cleared itself. I had a fart attack. So,
Wait, I thought this was the one where you threw your back out trying to put on your underwear.
well, no, we've recently covered that one in like just,
That's what I was thinking.
no, this is when I was having like this really bad bubble like right in my chest, like right under my rib cage, and
Mhm.
I could not get this bubble, and it was hurting like really bad. It was even like I could feel it between my shoulder blades,
Mhm.
and like everything, it almost felt like having chest pains. So it felt like a heart attack this
Oh,
whole time. And I'm like rolling on the ground, like back and forth and up and down. And I took a hot shower, everything that I could to try to get this feeling to go away. And so finally I was like, well, Ethan, this is not like, it's not letting up. I need to go to the emergency room because this is really a problem. Like it hurts and I can't make it stop. Well, we drive all the way to the ER here in Dixon. And as soon as we get in the parking lot, like I go to open the door and get out of the car. And I guess that motion did it because it popped whatever bubble of gas that was in me. And I let out this ridiculously long, loud fart. It just brrrr for however long. And then
and
I
it
like,
was just gone.
yeah. And I just like stood up and was like, oh, okay. That's all that was.
That was a nice drive.
Right? Okay, let's go back home. I'm not paying $250 copay for them to tell me that I just farted it out. So I call that my fart attack.
Heart attack. I don't remember that. I'm sure you told me at some point, but I do
Yeah.
not remember that.
Yeah. That's the worst reason to go to the ER that I've encountered yet.
The worst, I wasn't in the ER, but it was when I donated my eggs. The
Right.
first time I did it, like I guess my body didn't flush out all the extra fluid like it was supposed to, and I just kept swelling up like my abdomen, and
Lovely.
it was getting really hard to breathe. And so I went back to the doctor that did the procedure, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yo, bitch, what the fuck?
Like I'm supposed to be getting smaller and I'm getting bigger, and now I can't breathe and I have to sleep in a recliner like an old man. So I need you to fix this. And so he like pressed on my belly and asked me to take a deep breath, and he was like, yeah, you have OHSS. And I was like, the fuck is
That
that?
sounds terrifying.
And he was like, it's ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, and it's basically when they pump too much fertility meds into you and your body can't flush it all out on its own. And so I was like, so what are you going to do about it? And he was like, well, we'll just have to drain your abdomen. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I thought they were going to come in and stick a needle in my belly and drain it. Like, that would be fine. And so the lady comes in and she's got like this big sterile tray and like four really tall glass jars, like 800
Yeah.
cc's a piece. And she's got this big long needle. And I'm like, okay, they're going to stick the needle in my belly and drain it into these jars. Well, then she asked me to lay back on the bed and put my feet in the stirrups. And I was
Mm.
like, why? And she was like, so I can stick this needle in your vagina.
All
She
right.
didn't say it like that, but I guess
Might
she
as
kind of
well.
thought that I knew where that needle was going. And I was like,
What does that have to do with your stomach?
no, 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 it's in my abdomen. And she was like, yeah. And that's how we're going to get to your abdomen, through your vagina. So I'm
Lovely.
like, okay. So I put my feet in the stirrups and I laid back, and she
She
was
broke your
like,
water.
pretty much, she was like, not gonna lie, this is gonna feel like sitting on a cactus. And
Good God.
she, I'm talking, this is the biggest, longest needle I've ever seen. It was like this. It was like fucking 18 inches long. Because you gotta think it's gotta go all the way through the vagina, through the cervix, into the uterus, which I'm guessing is where all this fluid was collecting. And yeah, it did feel like sitting on a cactus. And that was the slowest fucking drip ever. And it filled up like, I think, three of the jars. So
Jesus.
I don't know, 800 times three, whatever that is, math, 3,600 cc's. And that wasn't even all of it. She was like, we can sit here and wait until it drains completely, or you can just like tell me when you've had enough, when you can't take it anymore. And so I made it through three jars and I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't do it. And I
Wow.
was like, but I still can't breathe. So like the whole time I was laying back, I was like, I can barely breathe while I'm laying back like this. And she was like, yeah, fun story. The fluid got so high that it started leaking into your lungs.
Oh,
So
wow.
you do the same thing, but on your lungs. And you
Are you
have
going
to
to go through my vagina for those two?
right. I was like, I mean, you're already down there. Just shove the needle up a little bit further. You'll be at my lungs. It's fine. She was like, no, we don't do that procedure here. You have to go to the hospital for that. So I'm done with this. I've been sitting on a cactus for about 2 hours. And now I'm going to go to the hospital and they're going to fucking put a needle in my back and stick it in my lung. And so I went into this like weird dark ultrasound room, and they turned off all the lights, and they like used the ultrasound to feed this needle through my back between my ribs and puncture my lung with it. And then same thing with the jar, and they started draining the fluid, and it was like pink mucusy
Ugh,
nasty stuff. And that one was like maybe 600 cc's. It
Jesus.
was, yeah, it was not fun. So after all of that, naturally, what did I do? I was like, sign me up. I'm going to do this again. So I donated my eggs 12 more times, but it never happened again. So
Well, that's good.
that's the good part. But yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, would not recommend.
No, no fun. No fun.
Well, that wraps us up for this episode. Also, check out Audible. That's audibletrial.com/remember that one time for your free 30-day membership for audiobooks. You can also find that at ourtotshow.com up in the top left corner for that. Like I listen to my audiobooks on my way home almost every day. I finally wrapped up my last one, and I've been searching and browsing the website of Audible for a while to try to figure out what I want to listen to next.
Hell yeah.
It's good
Shout
shit.
out Audible. They're amazing. Thanks for supporting you girls.
Yes. Because when you support Audible, you support us.
Yes.
You look like you had an idea.
I did. I was just going to talk for a minute about the Chili Ray Cyrus cook-off.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
That did happen. It was hella fun. And yours truly won.
Yes.
And our super special surprise did end up disappointing. It did not come through in time.
It wasn't
However,
too disappointing, but there was a reason. He had family troubles. I don't know if you were sober enough to get that message, but he did apologize profusely 2 or 3 times, even after he sent it to us.
okay,
So
well,
he felt horrible about it, but we did still get it the same day, just a few hours after we wrapped up.
we did. We did. The original idea was we were going to have the video and the audio of Bill Engvall congratulating the winner of the Chili Ray Cyrus cook-off, and he was just going to say the winner because obviously we didn't know who the winner was yet. But by the time he got back to us, we already had a winner, so we just went ahead and told him who it was, and so he ended up calling me out by name, which I'm not mad about.
I
That
was
was
gonna say, I think that worked out actually a little better.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That,
think that worked out better. I'm gonna put, you can see that video at any of our social media on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm gonna throw that up on our website eventually as well.
yeah. So it was a great time. We all just kind of had fun. It was nice weather. It was beautiful outside. We had some cornhole. We got good and drunk. Um, I think I showed you the video. Like every one of our neighbors has a golf cart. I don't know why.
You showed us this.
Everybody has one, and now Chris is like dead set on getting one because he wants to be part of the club. So one of the neighbors got here, and their daughter took a couple of people out on the golf cart. And I guess like it's just a two-seater, so there were two people in the seats, and then one person was like standing on the back and just like holding on.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she like whipped into someone's driveway, and he was filming himself. He was like, going down the road.
Look at me.
Like, ooh, look at me. I'm having a good time. And she whips into this driveway, and he completely wiped out. Like like bounced off the ground and tumbled.
Gone.
Went flying, and it was great because in the video you could just see him like having a good time, and then like straight fear, and then grass, like nothing. And so, and I didn't see it happen, but he comes back and he's like all bloody. He's got like his
arm
shoulder is all tore up. His, I think, hands, and so he was bloody in like a bunch of places. And so like we had the hydrogen peroxide and the Band-Aids out and stuff. And the next morning when I was cleaning up the mess, I was like, dude, you had a good party when you're cleaning up like 50 beer cans and a bottle of hydrogen peroxide and a box of Band-Aids.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was intense.
Good
and
times.
Then after you left, we all got hungry again, and we ordered pizza. And so
Naturally.
we all ate pizza for a while and hung out. And then Chris and Brooke were taking tequila shots, and they both cried. So
Sounds about right.
I was like, man, this is this is. They just kept going. I was impressed. I really
Wow.
was. So it was a great time, and I have decided that the next cook-off will be sweets, desserts of some sort. We're still kind of working on that.
We're working on a name.
Oh, yeah. It's not coming as easily as the others. So,
We're
yeah.
working on it. We'll have a name before January.
Yeah, TBA. We'll
Yeah,
figure it out. So,
eventually. But that
that's
is
all
it.
you get.
Yep, that is it, and there ain't no more. Until next time, remember to say yes to adventures because they become stories. And in the end, that is all we are. Cheers.
Cheers.
Boom.